So this video is going to be all about how to stop calorie counting. Whether you're struggling with an eating disorder, disordered eating, or dieting, or just can't kick this habit of calorie counting and it's starting to cause problems in your life, then I'm going to help propose some solutions to be able to help you with that. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm Long Island's eating disorder specialist. I post on this channel 3 times a week all about eating disorders, body image issues, and general mental health. So if any of that interests you or you think it could be helpful, I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button down below. I also have an Instagram and a weekly blog. Feel free to check those out. I will leave those links in the description below. Also, if you found this video helpful, useful, informative, or whatever, I would greatly appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. It helps other people to find my channel, and I hope be able to help them as well. Let's start by talking about what calorie counting is and why it is probably not best for you. So calorie counting is, of course, it says it in the name, it is counting your calories. And it is a matter of figuring out a way to calculate everything that goes into your food. And that's really what I'm talking about. When you're calculating exactly the amount of oil that you're putting, exactly how many calories it's supposed to have in it, putting that in, adding that up. And like all of a sudden it becomes like you're doing Einstein level math because of everything that you're trying to incorporate and understand about what calories you're putting into your body. And that becomes very problematic for a lot of people, because it becomes very obsessive, especially if you have any type of tendency for any type of addictive personality, or you have any type of tendency toward disordered eating or mental health illness, OCD, those types of things. It could be really a playground for those types of mental health issues. So it's something that I would definitely caution you against doing. Of course, it's easy to say just stop doing it, but it's not as easy in actuality to actually stop this behavior, especially if it's something that you've been doing for quite a while. Perhaps you have been doing this in your eating disorder and you maybe have done it for a while now, where every single thing that you eat is calculated very to the T. Perhaps you're using an app to do so. Perhaps you have a notebook, but you probably already have this behavior really set and ingrained in you, and it becomes very difficult to break that habit once it starts. But that's what this video is about. One tip that may help you is to stop looking at the calories. I know, easier said than done, but perhaps it is something that you check the box of everything that you eat and you are calculating those calories, or you're putting in an app, you're scanning into an app or whatever, and you're calculating those calories. So I would caution you to stop doing that. If you have your own place, or you are living with people, your family that is supporting you in your recovery, I would ask to cover all those labels, and you can even go through and really try, when you're in a recovery oriented mindset, take a Sharpie and just highlight over all the nutrition facts that you feel have been becoming obsessive to you. So all the calories, all that stuff, highlight over it, so that, or not highlight, it's actually like erasing it. So put the Sharpie over it so that you are no longer able to see it. Your next question might be, well, now that I've been doing this so long, I've memorized all the calories in everything that I typically eat. That is a little bit more difficult because it is no longer something tangible that you can do to cover it up, so that it makes it difficult for you to be able to check out those calories. So it's probably now all of a sudden an innate thing that you're doing in your head, and that's a little bit more difficult to break. Not impossible though. So one, I would recommend that if you are doing that and you are writing it down or keeping track some way in a physical form, is to stop doing the physical thing. So let's say, probably more often than not, you calculate it in your head, or maybe you even calculate it on paper, but then somewhere it goes into an app or it goes into paper. That is something that I would try to stop, because it is a physical thing. So try to replace that behavior maybe with something else. Let's say you calculate it all in your head and then you all of a sudden go write in a notebook. As long as you can, as long as it takes, just scribble in the notebook, draw a picture in the notebook. If you feel like you can't all of a sudden just stop going to the notebook, then take out the page and rip it up, whatever it is. But really, really trying not to keep track in a physical form. And if you can, if you feel like you really, really need to, then try to at least create space in between you, and this might be where you start, in between your calculations in your head to the point that you're writing it down. Because when we're able to create space between that, whether that's time, whether that's physical distance, whatever, it allows us to have that period or that space to be able to alter the pattern, alter the behavior in the long run. So if you feel like you have to write it down, at the very least, start to create space in that. So that if you write it down a second after you start calculating it in your head, maybe take 5 minutes, try 10 minutes, try 20 minutes. And that can help break up the behaviors as well, because what happens is that it's not so automatic. And that gives us space to do something different. If you have an app that is something that tracks your calories, it's something really hard to break that. And it's something really hard when you're just like going all of a sudden in to start calculating it. So what I really would challenge you to do, and I think I might do a whole video on this, but the best thing is to cut that cold turkey, delete the app. It makes it a little harder for you to go back in there and download it and all of that. So it does create that space again. So what I would suggest is, making the apps dance. At least that's how it happens on iPhone. And exit out, delete the app. You can still always download it again. It's not like good riddance. I hope it will be, but you can always download it again if your eating disorder convinces you to. But at least let's make it a little bit more difficult for that disordered behavior. So delete the app cold turkey. Another tip, and this is something that's probably the most difficult thing to break, is the calculations that occur in your head, because all of a sudden it just is automatic and it's not a tangible thing that we can shift and do. So what I would suggest doing is keeping in mind that it's very difficult to focus on multiple things at a time and truly focus on them. So I would try to totally take your focus and shift it to something else. Perhaps even saying random numbers in your head. What I would say, like count to 100, count to 200, however long it takes, because it's going to be very difficult for you to do math. Just think about it. If like you were doing math and someone's shouting, 3, 89, 72, it's going to be really difficult for you to be able to keep track of the amount of calories that you're taking in and the amount of calculations that you need to be doing. So saying numbers, that might be a little hard. So another thing that might be, and this is really kind of just whatever is more to your liking and whatever works for you. So experiment with the different ones, but is to choose a song, and any song, or maybe put on the radio of a song, or put on a song that you know the lyrics to, and really try to hyper focus in on the lyrics and sing the lyrics out loud, or say it out loud, or move your mouth to the words, and really trying to hyper focus on the words. Again, it makes it very difficult to be doing calculations while also having something inside your head and out verbally to be focusing on instead. If that's not the case, if you maybe want to try something different, try, if someone is available to talk to you during this time, whether on the phone or in person, try to do that. Try to have a conversation and really immerse yourself in the conversation. Not only will that be good for your relationship, but it's also going to be helpful in stopping calorie counting. Really trying to hyper focus on what the person is saying and really focusing in on what you're saying in response to that can be helpful on so many levels. I really hope that you are inclined to try one of these tips. Leave a comment down below which one that you will try, and if you have any other tips, I would love to hear them as well. If you like this video or found it helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. You could click my face over here to subscribe to my channel, and I wish you stopping calorie counting on your journey to finding your state of balance, and I will see you in my next video.